Okay, so we've got an hour and a half, and I wrap up what's happening at MIP, basically. And I also added connected creativity. How many people went to connected creativity? Oh, wow, great, awesome. It was pretty incredible. So I have to admit, like, today is the geek day for me. You know, I got to meet and chat with rock stars like Eric Klinker from BitTorrent and Derek DeKirchhoff, who's from you know, the McLuhan Institute. And if you're not sure who McLuhan is, if you're coming to a panel to sort of like see me go through PowerPoint slides, we're changing up the format. So I'm sorry. I am going to do some PowerPoint slides. I'm going to start right now. Are you ready? Okay, that's it. I'd like you to meet. My wife's shaking her head. This is my wife, Jen. So we have a huge Jumpwire team here at this time, and I do want to introduce them because they've been doing a great job, and they're up at the front here, so you guys can yell at them later. When you say I wasted an hour and a half of my time, you won't tell me, but you'll tell them. So I just want to introduce our VP of Operations is Priya Rao, which is right here. No clapping. Oh, my God. No clapping. It's just an introduction. Our cross-media assistant is Kevin Eller. First-time cans, long-time listener. Yeah, no clapping. Our head of strategy, who's been doing all the tweeting on the Jumpwire handle this week, and she is tweeting now, Sue Kuhn Lee, right there. She's down there. She won't stand up. So today, I do always start these sessions with something. I know it's Thursday, and I know it's a bit of a pain, but just turn to someone you don't know and say hi. I don't care. Even if you have to stand up, just literally say hi to someone. Not just hi. Hi, where are you from? God. It's a guy in the front, he's like, hi. Guys, this is going to be so long. This is going to be the longest hour and a half. Oh, I'm so tired. Okay, great. No doing deals. You can't do deals. That's the rule. If you've been here before, we had one person last time. They were chatting, and they were like trying to do a deal for the whole thing. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, I should just get out and do the deal. They apparently wanted to meet or something. This is us, Jumpwire Media, and this is our new website, and we're really proud because we launched it here at MIP Connected Creativity. I apparently, according to the rumors, pay $20,000 to come and speak to you. We're a startup. Where did this rumor start that I would pay to speak to you guys? First of all, you wouldn't even show up anyway. You know, I don't even know, half the time I don't even know why you're here, but I don't know where this, I heard it, I was like, are you guys on glue? Anyway, we thought this was a really great opportunity. We do have, you know, we try to be subtle at Jumpwire. You won't see a lot of branding around what we do because we just love doing what we do. Like for MIP to ask me to do this every 6 months is like, I do it for free because I love it. It's a great way to find out what's going on at the market. I don't sleep for 4 days, and right now I'm like on some sort of oxygenated, what? Oh, I'm okay. So we have, and I would like to say, just as part of the PR stuff, is that we do not have a PR agency. We have no idea how we got on this list of Fast Company's top 10 most innovative companies. We don't know, so I want to put that out there because everyone came up to me and said, how much did you pay to get on that list? What is it? Can you buy your way into the media now? Really? You can? Who's nodding your head? Yeah, you said, okay. So anyway, we're on with Univision, Discovery, Twitter, you know, Starlight Runner, Jeff Gomez, the transmedia guru. And we got in number 10. We squeaked in at number 10, and it's been great. So thank you, whoever did that for us. And we'll talk a little bit more about it. As I do with all these sessions, I want to start off with a video. Sue found this video for us. The reason, it's a little bit of a theme. I'm going to be talking about cross-media strategies. I'm going to do some PowerPoint stuff, because what I like to try and do is that our whole sort of motto at Jumpwire, if you've been here before, is sharing is caring, right? So we try and bring you a case study that we've just finished that we can show you how we do what we do. Because number one, it allows us to learn a lot more about, because we get great feedback. People are like, oh yeah, I tried something like that, it didn't work in my country, or you know what, it would probably be better if you did it this way. So this time last time we did Restrepo, which was a documentary that was nominated for an Oscar. They didn't win, and we're pretty upset about that, but I think it's okay. They got nominated, and apparently they called us Sebastian Younger, who's a huge star in the United States. He writes for Vanity Fair. He called us and said, this is absolutely due to you guys. So, you know, well, not all of us, obviously. We were working. But, you know, he said, you guys had a big influence on this. So that was really great. And they went up for an Oscar, and they didn't make it. But at the end of the day, it was really important for us to be a part of that because we worked really hard on it. So this time we brought a book. We don't do that many TV shows yet, although we're getting lots of people asking us to do them. But we just finished doing a book, and it's pretty cool. I'd like to point out a few things before I start this video. It is okay to sleep in this session. If you need to nod off, it's all right. I don't mind. Because it's going to be live taped, so you can watch it afterwards. And the bloggers, Stuart, who's in the front, do a better job actually than me actually watching the video. Usually the live blogs are better. What was I talking about? Oh yes. How many people here have iPhones? Okay. How many people have Blackberries? Okay. How many people have Android devices? Wow, okay, that's more than last time. How many people are carrying more than one phone right now? Yeah. And it's your business phone and your personal phone, right? That sort of thing, is that the deal? Okay, I just want to check that. So I'm going to talk about a cross-media strategy and take you through that. I'm going to probably bring Sue up on stage because she did a lot of that, and there's some really great learning, and hopefully you'll be able to take away something. Second part, we're also going to talk about the social media strategies. The reason why I'm doing this is not for the way you think. This has been an incredible MIP for Twitter. Last MIPCOM, there were a few people tweeting. There were a few things being retweeted. It wasn't that big a deal. We have some stats, and I can show you stuff live it's unbelievable. Like 6,000 tweets on the MIP, the MipTV thing, lots of retweets, people engaged in conversations, fantastic. And then mostly what this is becoming is that I have to give props to the bloggers. Stuart and Angela and James. It's absolutely incredible. If you have not found the MipTV blog, find it. It's blog.miptv.com. And that's mipworld.com. So I had a slide up. I don't know where it went. Wait a minute. I don't know where it is. I'll put it up in a second. But they did a great job last time, and I'm like, great job. And I thought, well, they're probably going to just keep doing what they're doing. And then this time, they did even a better job. It's like insane how great it is. I went through, because I can't go to all the sessions. My job when I go to MIPCOM and MipTV is to go as many sessions as possible and give you guys a wrap-up because you couldn't get to the sessions, right? Well, we had Connected Creativity, which was unbelievable. And then we have MipTV, which was programmed, which is unbelievable. So I couldn't be everywhere. So we decided to bring Sue over, and we had Kevin and Priya, and everyone was trying to be in sessions, and I went to a bunch of sessions as well too, so we could get a good feel with what was going on here and relay that back to you. Then we found a piece of technology that James put us onto called Summarizer, and blew my mind. So that is going to be the back part. So you've got that to look forward to. So if you want to sleep in the front and then see in the back, that's okay too. I can wake you up. We'll do, what should the wake up be? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm scaring the audience again. Okay, so this is a really cool video. It just sort of resets our brains and just, gets us into this data. I don't know if you guys feel, I'm just going to ask one little question. Do you feel that you're sort of overwhelmed with numbers at the moment? Like everything's a percentage, everything's like 2 million people, and they don't mean anything. Like it's 2 billion people download, watch videos on YouTube a day or something. What does that mean, right? So I'm just going to reinforce that with a video full of numbers. But I just wanted to find out, and I saw some people nodding. It's true. I'm getting a bit overwhelmed. So for MIPCOM, I'll try and make sure that I come up with a better source, and you can tell I'm so tired. I'm just going to go sleep right here while I play the video. I'm kidding. All right, here we go. Anytime.
What? No, no, oh no you didn't. There it is. Okay. Are you all worried now that your lives are over and it's done, right? Why bother? It's all social. Where did my thing go? Oh. Whoa. Okay. Am I doing the right thing? Okay. So I show you that because I want to show you this. So the last time, 6 months ago, we at Jumpwire, we talk about strategies, and we keep it simple for our clients because we all work in media and we're not that bright. So what happens is that we decide to break things down into 3 key areas. If you're looking 18 months out, we say to our clients, what are 3 key things you should be looking at when you're developing business plans or you're developing anything? And we really don't even push out more than 12 months. If you know what's going on more than 2 years from now, can I talk to you? Because you're a visionary. I have no idea. Like, things change every single day, and I'll show you what happened in a week last week. This is revolutionizing our industry so quickly that anyone that thinks they know what they're talking about just doesn't. So that was 6 months ago. I put up, you got to talk about data, then you got to go to web video, then you got to do mobile. Now, there is absolutely no question. It's still data, and what I mean by data, for those of you new to this, is that we are collecting data. That means that your website, you should be getting, you're all executives here, so you should be getting reports from your website every single week, put on your desk. We have it at Jumpwire. We send out reports to all our clients saying how many tweets are going out, how many Facebook new users you have, how many hits are coming to your website. Basic data. ComScore and Nielsen and the rest of these old guys that are doing data do not do data very well. Badly, in fact. They use panels and it doesn't work. You know, they're probably going to sue me, but I don't mind. It's off. It's always off. So we need to get the data from what you're actually, when you know how many people are watching your TV shows and you can hear the buzz in your office and then you see your website is not getting that number of hits, you've got to ask yourself the question why, right? There's lots of reasons why we should be using data, and we use it lots of different ways, and I'll talk about that a bit later. So now I've moved it to data, mobile, and web video. Web video is still very important. We use it actually to build our cross-media marketing ecosystems, but mobile is probably the next time I talk to you, mobile will be #1. We still think data is really important, but the incredible changes in mobile and more of the stuff I've seen this week from around the world, it's a little bit more advanced here in Europe, and some of the people coming over from the Asian countries have some incredible statistics about what's going on over there and the phones. At Connected Creativity, we saw something from Tommy Ahonen, who basically yells at you for an hour. It was awesome. How many people were at Connected Creativity when Tommy was there? Yeah. So he says, "You don't know anything. You are nothing. You're over there." It was the best presentation I've ever seen. Is Tommy here? No, because it would be great to get up and just have him yell at you. So I'll talk a bit more about what he said. But he brought a phone. He's like had 3 phones on him, and he says, "Oh yeah, I have one of these phones that displays a 2-meter projection on the wall. It's the size of a phone." And I'm like, "Can I see that?" And he's like, he pulls it out, and he's like showing the audience. He's like going up like this and putting, it was fantastic, right? And this was a little Samsung phone, maybe about this big, that was projecting onto the wall. He says, "Yeah, when I'm traveling, I travel all over the world, it projects, I watch movies, I do whatever I want." Obviously, he has an unlimited data account, but, I was blown away. So we were able to see this type of technology. And now we're talking more about 3D, and, there's all these changes. And how many people went to the Experience Hub? Wasn't that fantastic? Did you do the brain thing? Did you do the emotive? How many people? Nod your head if you did. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I'll talk about that a little bit more. If you didn't, you got to check this out. It totally blew my mind. Okay, so let me just get into a few things that just happened recently that I think are important. So this happened on March 7th. If you're looking for more PowerPoint, I'm really sorry I don't have it. I just put up the links and that's it. I don't cut and paste and do all that. I don't have enough time. So this happened on March 7th. Android passes iOS and RIM for US smartphone subscriber share. So when I'm in Manhattan, or even when I'm in our Toronto office, I see a lot of people who are coming in from the suburbs who don't earn a ton of money like we all do, because we are the elite. We make a ton of money compared to most people, and they are all using Android phones. I walk up and down the subway. Sometimes I get off and get back on in New York, and I see lots and lots of people who are coming in doing the $7 an hour or $8 an hour jobs. They're all using Android phones. Why? Because they can buy them at Walmart for $149, and now I think they're going down to 99 bucks, and an iPhone is trying to do the same sort of thing. There's a lot of free apps, and when we talk to Google about it, the Google guys will tell you, because right now Android is a mess. A lot of people are like, well, why would I want to even bother? I mean, there's all these, all sorts of viruses and all sorts of stuff, but it's very simple. They're like, no, we want to give people free apps. We'll figure that out later. Let's just get people working it. Which is a great philosophy, but it's leading to serious problems, right? If you want to try and program for the Android platform, it's very difficult. I've talked to 2 or 3 producers who, one of them mentioned to me, she said, yes, we're selling an app, we have an iPhone app, but unfortunately, I can't get this deal in China because the guy said, he says, I won't buy your app from you for the TV show unless you do it in Android. And now she is going to have to find developers, and she said that when she was looking for the developers, it was really, really difficult, first of all, to find good developers, and secondly, to find things that was actually going to work, right? Because you have a serious problem. Steve Jobs is a genius, there's no question. But the difference with this here is there's only 2 of these, right? There's a black one, and there's a white one. That's it. There are 36 Android phones coming out this year. 36, all from different manufacturers. So each one, much like a PC, when you use different PCs, you have to program for those, and it's leading to significant problems. There's no checks and balances. They just let the community figure it out, which we really like, but it can be very frustrating for people like us who are trying to monetize it, because there's no way to do that. Second thing that I thought was really interesting is Facebook teams up with Warner Brothers to stream movies. How many people saw this and just basically fell off your chair? Yeah, me too. I was like, what? I mean, one more time? 600 million people, all available to share really quickly. On average, we have 130 friends. Now, when I was at Joost, because I used to be at Joost, and before that I was at Endemol, when I was at Joost, we were playing around in 2007 or 8, the idea that you could watch at the same time as you were with a friend. So you could follow a friend up and you could watch in real time. It doesn't matter where they were around the world. You say, oh, what show are you watching? And there was this button you would click and it would link up and watch together. Now that's a great sharing experience considering how much time we spend online doing social stuff. So I was like, this is great. It never worked, unfortunately, but they were, we had amazing engineers working on it, but it didn't happen. But if these guys can do it, do you want me to say it out loud? Where is that going to leave television, really, right? So we really need to evolve this in the TV business and figure it out. Now, this was on March 8th. So March 7th, you saw that Android overtook iOS. So Steve Jobs was not happy. He's like, what? He probably, I don't know, probably got someone. I don't know. I'm not going to say it. And then on March 18th, 10 days later, Netflix comes out and says, oh, yeah, that's okay. Because when Facebook announced that they were going to do a streaming, you know that Netflix stock lost 5%, right? Overnight, like, boom. They're like, this is over. So it was really great. It was like, it's like we're actually watching a boxing match in slow motion. So 10 days later, Netflix comes out and says, oh yeah, that's okay. We're going to hire David Fincher and Kevin Spacey, and we're going to outbid HBO for this amazing thing called House of Cards. So, I was already in the hospital from falling off my seat, and I came back home, and then I broke my leg when I heard this, right? Because now you've got, Netflix, there's a huge battle going on here. And I'm not sure if most of you know, but if you don't, you should, that Netflix is paying serious money for good content. I've talked to a lot of producers here this week, and before I got here, and I said, well, it's not even a rumor, they're telling me they're paying like top dollar for really good programming. So they're becoming a broadcaster. There is a war that is going to happen here, massive. Because you know that CBS and NBC and those guys have Hulu and all the streaming stuff, and now Comcast owns NBC. And this is happening around the world. It's not just in the US. Canada, the same thing. The UK, who's from the UK? Is it happening a bit in the UK? Yeah. Yeah, so there's a, it's interesting times. I mean, it's exciting times for me. For other people, maybe not so much, but what can you do? Where was I going? Okay, so I wanted to talk a bit quickly about some stuff that we talked over in Connected Creativity. We had Eric Klinker, the CEO of BitTorrent, here. He's actually right down there. Round of applause, people. Listen, it takes real balls to fly over and come to a TV conference, like when everybody wants to sue BitTorrent every single day and has cease and desist orders. That's all sort of changed since Paramount decided to put up the tunnel, right? So those of you who were over at Connected Creativity and saw Eric and I having the discussion, if you didn't, you will know that Paramount is putting out something on BitTorrent called the Tunnel. This is a big deal. And again, I was in the hospital when I heard this because I had to, I'm like, BitTorrent is now doing this. The other thing that was really interesting that, that Eric revealed too, which again, I was back in the hospital, is he's like, yeah, we're, XL Partners is the venture capital firm that does BitTorrent, and they also do Facebook. Oh my God, like this is awesome. Like we've been waiting so long for this to happen. I'm so excited, and I'm talking to Eric, and I'm trying to pull information. I'm like, when are you going to do something? What day? When is it? I can't tell you that. But there could be something. What do you think, Gavin? Think about it. Okay, I thought about it. It's going to be great. So when's it going to happen? So it's some fantastic stuff is happening, and it's a really exciting time. So I wanted to tell you about one that we did talk about at Connected Creativity. So if you've seen this, you can sleep for 5 minutes. But if not, this is a Pioneer One, which is this series that was done and released only in BitTorrent last, I think, a year and a half ago, just before MipTV, just before MipCom a year and a half ago. So what happened was that they decided, these guys spent about $17,000, and they made the evolution of Lost, except it's about a guy who comes back from the future, and he's from Mars, and he lands, and then they're trying to find out who this guy is and where he came from. So it's a Lost-type scenario. Very good writing. They did it with 16,000, and I thought they did a fantastic job when I went and watched it because they had a screening, and I was like, wow, this is really good. You know, pretty good actors and really good directing considering their budget. And I said, well, how are you guys going to monetize this? They said, well, we went on Kickstarter and we asked for like $7,000 to cover some stuff, and we blew through that in like a day. So on Kickstarter, which is in the US, is that you can put up, say, I want $7,000 to do some development for a TV show or to write something or to do anything, actually. You can be developing a product, you can do anything. And if you get all the money, then you get to keep it. So you say, I need $7,000. And people donate $5, $10, they use PayPal. It's incredible. I'm on there all the time looking at different things. It's fantastic. So these guys did that, and they asked for $7,500, and they got that really quickly. They also had a donate button on their website, and I think they raised $27,000 from that as well, too. And here's what happened. Now we're up to episodes 2 and 3 that have gone up. So they're released on something called Vodo.net, and we work with Jamie quite closely here. There are places on BitTorrent in which people release content, and they're seen as curators, and it happens really quickly. So when Jamie releases something, he can guarantee essentially 500,000 downloads, which is pretty good. I mean, it's something you wouldn't get on cable, that's for sure. So here's, you know, they now have three episodes. It's over 2 million downloads. They've received $55,000 in audience donations. And 75% goes to the content creator, and 25% goes to Vodo. $30,000 they were able to raise, so $10,000 per episode from .tv, who's a VeriSign company. 25% of that goes to Vodo, and 75% goes to the content creator. That's wrong. Wait a minute. Yes, no, that is right. No, that is totally wrong. It's 25% to the content creator and 75% to Vodo, because they do all the work, right? So it's reversed. I'm sorry about that. I'll change that later. But the key is that people are making money here, and they're just people who don't have the power of the media like you guys do. You control, you have a lot of power, you can do this. Now, Paramount's doing it, so sky's the limit. If Paramount's doing it, you can sell that to your CEO, right? Are there any CEOs here? Not one? Really? You're hiding. There's one at the back. Are you on TV? Okay, so what do you think of this?
I mean, that's the big law right now, scaring everybody. I'm from Canada, so we're still on incentives and stuff like that for production.
Yeah.
And basically
No one knows anything. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and I would probably agree with you. Someone asked about demographics. So in our last one, here's an idea of what it is in the US, 10 million monthly users approximately. Is that right? About right, Eric? It's 10 million monthly? Anyway, it's 100 million worldwide monthly, which that we're sure on, right? Yeah. It's usually about men, 60 to 40% women. The interesting thing is the 50 plus, right? 28% are 50 plus. Overall, it's generally still skewing men 18 to 24, 18 to 34, right? Yeah. So there it is. Okay, so that's sort of that part. I do want to say, what do I have next? Oh, there it is. If you need to get this, write this down. This is the place to go and get all the blog MIP World stuff. The one thing I do want to point out quickly is I've shown this before, and I was sitting down thinking, I'm like, what's the one thing I took away from this, you know, connected creativity in MipTV? And you know, I heard a lot of speakers, and I have to say, I was a little bit upset. There seemed to be a lot of negativity. Like a lot of people already saying, well, are too many screens? What's happening with our kids? Are they watching too much time? You know, are they spending too much time? Should we stop this? Should we regulate this? And while I think it's important to have those discussions, it was just sort of bothered me that I felt like 75% of the time people were putting it down, 25% of the time they weren't excited. And I think it should be the other way around, is that we should be really excited. We are literally, like in March, we've had all these collaborations happen, right? We're on the front of an amazing new industry, and we should be talking about it. Yes, kids are going to watch a lot of screen time. It's not our fault. It's their parents' fault, right? If you don't limit your kids' screen time, why don't you just have them smoke cigarettes? Sure, little Johnny, that's great. Cool. You can blow smoke rings. Excellent. Oh, come on. It's not it's not my problem that your kid watches too much screen, so then we shouldn't have them? Is that the debate? So that's what I got coming out of it, and I just say that to just sort of get it off my chest, but I also say this because Stephen Johnson is a really, really brilliant guy, and he wrote this book called Everything Bad is Good for You, and he basically went at the TV industry, and this was done about 8 years ago, 10 years ago maybe 6 years ago, I can't remember, but he was tired of the TV business being lambasted by the fact that it was dumbing everything down, and he breaks down Dallas, he breaks down Lost, he breaks down and he says these are extremely sophisticated narratives that if you look at TV overall, yes, okay, it might be bad. But when you look at the storytelling on TV, it is incredibly sophisticated. And we have evolved so far from that that it's important that we take. So read this book if you get it, if you can find a copy of it or get an ebook of it, but because it's really enlightening. Okay, this is the blog world. blog.mitworld.com, that's correct, right? Great, okay, good. Now I'm quickly going to jump into our case study. As many of you know, at Jumpwire we create cross-media ecosystems. We also do a lot of data where we track everything on BitTorrent. We also do some conferences, Cross-Media NYC and Cross-Media TO, and we also do a ton of consulting around the world. So we're a little company, but we have lots of irons in the fire because again, I have no idea what's going to happen next, so we play a lot of this. We have the conferences because we're all about knowledge sharing, and that's where we get a lot of this. That's why I come to these things and we talk to people because I get a lot of feedback from the conferences. So we use YouTube. This is our secret sauce. We use YouTube as the second biggest search engine on the web to drive some of our social media ecosystems or our cross-media ecosystems. It's a tough nut to crack. We're working hard on it. We haven't perfected it, that's for sure, but we're working it into our social media system. Here's how it works. So on our cross-media ecosystems, we have an activity hub, which we call an activity hub because we found in the last 6 months or a year since we've been selling these that most people get hung up when we show them the website. And the reason why we call it an activity hub is that it's like a pamphlet. If you have a TV show and you're going out and you're standing on the street and you're handing out a pamphlet, that's what this website is. They're designed to drive traffic, to bring things together, to allow people who still spend time on the internet to go to a website. Everyone still needs a website. That's going to go away. As you see, many of the big brands are changing to Facebook. You know, I think Mercedes and BMW in North America, I mean, they don't even put up their website anymore. It's like BMW, you know, facebook.com/BMW. So that's the new internet, right? That's what they believe is the new internet. That's what Mark Zuckerberg is talking about. He's saying, we build this platform, and we're going to be the new internet, and everyone's terrified of them. But at the end, you can see here, on the right-hand side is all the traditional. So we look at word of mouth, media buy, and PR, right? Those are the ones that we all know. And then on the ones on the left-hand side are social media, web video, and meetup. These are the new ones. And these ones we use all together in conjunction through the Activity Hub and a Jumpwire formula that I cannot tell you, but I would love to, but I can't, that drive everything back and forth, okay? Essentially, what we're doing is building a rope. We take all the little bits and pieces and we string them together as a rope. Here's the project we worked on. It's called Crazy Sexy Diet. No laughing. It's a great book. She had cancer when she was 28. She basically beat the cancer, and she went onto a vegan diet, and she talks about it all over the place. And she does a really great job, and she sells tons of books. So this is her third book, and we were brought on board by the publisher to help build a cross-media ecosystem that would help push this book. And we said, because we always are all about deliverables, we said, what do you want? They're like, what? We said, what do you want? We're not just going to make this up and say, oh, we did. Where are the measurements? What can we do for you? Say, well, we want to push, I can't say how many, but let's just say thousands and thousands of books. And they gave us a number. And we want to be on the New York Times bestseller list for 2 weeks. Then they sort of giggled. Good luck. Well, this is it. So the campaign was basically, the project length was December 1st to February 28th. The campaign length was January 10th to February 28th. And we want to sell thousands of books and to remain on the New York Times bestseller list for 2 weeks. So I'm going to go right to the, I can't. Damn. I've left in a number I can't show you. Hold on. I'm going to pull this out. Is that okay? I just got to erase this. Guys, is that okay? I'm doing it. Okay, sorry. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm so sorry. So this is what happens when you're sleep deprived. It's okay to whisper. It's fine. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Hey, it's me. Okay, so what happened was, are you okay? Did I reset everything for you? Sorry. We upped the number of books that got shipped 100%, right? What they were hoping for, and we doubled the number that they were hoping to sell, right? So it works, and the systems really work. So social media is really important. They were 3 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list, which they had not anticipated. And the biggest thing that we actually did for them that, quite frankly, at the end of the day, that they weren't that impressed by, but we really are, is that we optimized, we gave them a lot of knowledge sharing. And we don't know really how to charge for this. Because if you don't know something and then we tell you it and you use it and you change your business, shouldn't we be compensated? No. So that's basically the way people look at it. Knowledge is free and sharing is caring, so we're just motoring ahead. So we tell all our clients as much as we can, even though we know that at the end of the day, we may not be compensated for it. So here's the process. We read the book in detail, so we determine the audience, we create keywords and alerts, we source social media tools for the campaign. We use something called a Wildfire app. I'll let you Google that. It's really great for contest. We optimize the online presence. We establish the audience, then reach out via Meetup. And the reason why I'm showing you this case study is because we had phenomenal success with Meetup. And you've heard me talk before about online to get offline. And this is the key. So using Meetup to drive traffic and sell books was something that they didn't anticipate, and we didn't really anticipate either, but it did phenomenal things for us. And we set up new platforms for the author. The target audience was females, 20 to 50, middle to upper middle income in the US, skews urban, suburban, interest in health and wellness, and aspires to a healthy lifestyle. I love that, the quotes, aspires. Not necessarily going to be healthy, but aspires to be that way. So we identify challenges and risks that could jeopardize the campaign. And obviously this PowerPoint was like 80 slides, and I've reduced it to like 5 or 10 or something. But I pulled out the things that were really, really key. We had Chris, who had a Facebook profile, and she had 4,000 or 5,000 people on it. And she was going to administer a promotion through it. Now recently, I think it was last week, Facebook has really done something fantastic. They've allowed you to move your profile to make it a fan page. So what most people don't understand is your profile, actually you can't do it, you're not allowed to sell on it. Right? You're not allowed to do anything. So the actual rules are is you will not administer a promotion through Facebook except through an application on the Facebook platform. Administration includes operation of any element of the promotion, such as collecting entries, conducting a drawing, judging entries, or notifying winners. So Chris had wanted to give away a bunch of Vitamix, what are they called? Juicers? Juicers. And she was going to do it on her profile. I'll just create an event on my profile. Well, what we told her, what Sue told her more importantly, is that if you do that, they're going to shut down your profile, and you will have an extremely difficult time getting a hold of anyone at Facebook to get your profile reinstated. Now, I don't know how much that is worth to somebody, but if someone told me that, and then I didn't, and I went ahead and did it, we basically saved her a lot of money, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that we are geniuses and amazing because we read the Facebook rules. So what I'm trying to say is read the Facebook rules because they're pretty strict, and they change all the time. Now, we also had a Wildfire app, which is essentially allows you to run a contest as a third party on Facebook, and it's Facebook compliant, it's viral, it's cost effective, and it includes data collection. How we influence the engaged with the Chris Carr community. I just put a couple slides in here so that you make sure that we actually does look like we know what we're doing. And here's how we did that. So it's sort of small, but it'll give you an idea. Like 53% of the people on Twitter recommended companies or products in their tweets, with 48% of them delivering on their intention to buy a product. This is why Facebook is so powerful. People hear stuff from their friends and they're actually making it or completing an action. Is anyone else counting down the days until January 16th? So what we did is that we held off on promoting the book. The books had already shipped. So in publishing, there's something that's called a ship date, and then there's an in-store date or a publishing date. Is that true? Or were those the acronyms? I can't remember. Yeah, so there's a publishing date. And what generally happens is sometimes the printers get mixed up and they ship the books early. And none of the promotion, none of the marketing goes out. And what we found, so we were holding off until January 16th to launch the book, but people found the book in some of the stores and started tweeting about it. So people were like, oh, it's in the stores already, I'm going to go and get it. So we couldn't control it. So it was an interesting scenario to be in. And then what I haven't put in here, but I will tell you, is that we sold out the book in like 3 days on Amazon. And when I say sold out, I don't mean like, oh, it'll ship to you in 2 weeks. We'd gone past that. It was like, there are no books available. This is a serious problem if you're doing anything to do with books. Beware. Amazon will just put you, just shut you down like that. So I'll let you know that. So you can see that how everyone was, how the influence of social media, that people were talking about this and they wanted to get these books and they were excited and they were telling their friends. And I hear this week, and I get a bit upset because I'm a little Irish. I can be a little angry. I'm okay with it. I'm cool with it. My staff doesn't like it, but I'm into it. But it really makes me upset and angry when people say, I don't understand why people would want to tweet all day and tweet everything. Well, I do. These people are passionate about it. And they were tweeting, some of them were tweeting a lot about anything to do with the book, anything to do with Chris Carr, and I don't see why we should limit that conversation. But there are some people that think, oh, it's too much, it's not a good thing. So that was another thing I heard this week that I didn't like. Just want to point that out. Can you see this? Yeah. So this is an example of how we use the hashtag. Has anyone heard about the Crazy Sexy Diet? Yeah. So you can see that these two people here are using the hashtag. We use a hashtag, if you're not sure, is to create a vessel in which every tweet goes into it, and we tell all the people that are passionate about it to put the hashtag on. So if you're not sure what a hashtag is, when we say, put MipTV or #MipCC, what we're saying is that create a conversation, become part of the conversation by just tagging it and saying, hey guys, I'm in this room, or I'm in this vessel. That's essentially what hashtags do. And I'll show you a little bit later when we get all the social media people up here and the bloggers that how powerful this is for tracking stuff. Here's something on Facebook. You just get an idea of like when people are, the conversation when you're talking about things. Andrea Fraser has 119 friends, and Casey Thomas has 1,500 friends. You multiply those numbers by 130, and it gets very big very fast. We multiply by 130 because that is the average number of friends that most people have on Facebook. It's not an exact science, but it gives you an idea. And then we just show you listening and engaging. There was a 21-day cleanse we did. People are excited about it. And Crazy Sexy Diet, we would respond back to it. This person said, cleanse, the 21 days went by so quickly and easily, ! Feeling great, 2 exclamation marks. I'm okay. And then Crazy Sexy Diet said, good work, congrats on feeling great. But that's how Chris talks, so exclamation mark was allowed. Follower growth, just to give you an idea of here's how the trending, 1,700 possible impressions. Average person has 130 followers, so you get an idea there. Facebook growth goes up. But here's, and I want to bring Sue up here a little bit right now just to talk about this, because I just want to take 2 minutes. Because she was really instrumental in setting this up, and I want her to tell you how she did it, because it really impressed me. So Sue, do you want to just come up? We'll just get this mic going here. Yeah, Sue, rock it. Yeah. So, Sue, just talk a little bit about what you guys did to do the meetups. Now, if you guys are not from the U.S., meetup.com is a place where you have a knitting.
It's basically a social network that brings together people people together
Mic near your
based on
mouth.
their.
Mic near your mouth.
Oh, it's a social network that brings together people around their common interests. But unlike, say, Facebook or Twitter, where everything takes place online, it's to encourage people to meet together in real time in a location to share their interest. So knowing that Chris Carr was going on a book tour, we figured we would use Meetup to identify these interest groups in the cities where she will be appearing to let them know that this woman is going to be at a bookstore or a cafe, and that if you are interested in vegetarianism, veganism, raw foodism, you may be interested in hearing what she has to say about this lifestyle.
And what happened was they had done book tours before, and people would show up at the book tours because they liked her. But we heard what we heard coming back was that each one of her places she went, they was packed, like packed. And we realized that it was to do mostly with the meetups. And we actually ended up training them on how to do that because it was important that they use the online to get offline. So that's the only thing I sort of want to point out here is that it was a big part of what we did. And everyone thinks about social media and everything existing online. Not true. There's a lot of people who want to engage with your product or your brand offline. Great.
Right, and this is not the only example. So more recent examples would be Plancast,
Yep.
right? Or Lanyard, where ahead of time you know who's going to be there, so you can prepare when you go to a conference to know who's there, what their interests are, and what you can reach out to them and talk to them.
Great, thanks, Sue. You want to put it over there? So this is Plancast. You can add a plan. It's blowing up in San Francisco right now, if you're not sure about it. The other one that I'm going to tell you that I've been using that's really cool, called Plainly. It tells you put in all, I use TripIt. I'm not sure if, I'll show you TripIt. So TripIt is this, you basically, when you order a, when you book your flight, you get a confirmation. You basically send this confirmation to plans@tripit.com, and because you've signed up, it knows it's coming from your email address, and it inserts it. So you can see here, organize all your travel plans into one spot, and it does it all automatically. Puts in the plane times, tells you what the weather's going to be like, tells you when it's coming up. I have it linked to my calendar, inputs it immediately into my calendar, goes on to my LinkedIn. So if you guys really care about me, thank you, you can find out where I am anytime. Because look, here, it tells me where I'm going. Here's my travel. Oh, where is it? Hello? There's my travel. It's loading. So that's it's pulling from TripIt right now. So upcoming trips. I'm in Nice, France. Yes, I am. I'm going back to New York for 2 days, the 19th and 20th. I'm actually going to Geneva too, but it's not in there, but it should be. So you know, you can see where I'm going to be, and this is how, the reason why I do this, and there's a lot of people out there who are shocked that I check in on Foursquare and I do this sort of stuff, but you would not believe the number of meetings I have with really interesting people who say, I noticed you were here, would you like to grab a coffee? And people think that this is not, you know, they don't want that, they want their privacy. I mean, I love having interesting conversations all around the world. I was in a pub in London, I checked in on Foursquare. A woman lived down the road. She's like, I see you're in the pub. Do you want to get together for a drink? And I was like, I have a meeting now. How about tomorrow? Like that. It was unbelievable, right? And we had an amazing conversation because she happened to work at the Institute for International Communications, and you know, they have such great information that I actually would have loved to have had coffee with her. It would have taken me 15 emails to figure that out, but she could see that I was down the street. So from that, and that was probably like a year and a half ago, from that, you can know where I am at any time. I don't mind, because if you want to have a conversation, let's talk. If you don't like me, you know how to avoid me. That's not right. That's wrong. So Plainly is you find your fellow flyers to connect with. So this started because a whole bunch of people were going to South by Southwest, I think, and they were getting on a Virgin flight, and it was the VX20, I think it was called, and there was a whole bunch of them, and one of the guys noticed that they were all sitting on the flight. So it finds people who are on your flights with the same. So if I'm using Plainly and you're using Plainly, and we put both of our itineraries in through TripIt, it tells me who's on my flight, right? And I might know that person. Then you can link it to your Facebook. So this is the sort of stuff that, I mean, it's still like base single level right now, but can you imagine when this becomes all 3D and where you're able to see things in real time? You can see where people are that you want to, you might be able to pick people you want to sit beside on the flight. They might not want to pick you, but it won't it be great when you can do that? You could find a friend. I like Friends. It's not a comedy show. This is just a mess. I'm so tired. Okay, so I want to get into the social media side because I do want to do some questions. And you know, I said I was going to change up the format, and I am going to do that. So I do want to, are there any questions out there? Any questions? Anyone have any questions or concerns? You're just lulled into, anyone? Okay, good. It's okay if you don't. I got some tweets last time, like, maybe you could ask some questions halfway through. I'm like, okay, I can do that. Where are you? But I did it, right? You guys were all here. Someone tweet that I asked questions halfway through. Where's Simon? There he is. Okay. Enough about me, more about Simon. Okay, let's move on to the really cool stuff. So we saw so much great stuff this week. It was fantastic. And when I was trying to put together my presentation, I realized there's just no way I could see it all. So I want to get some people up here. Angela, can you come up? Simon, you're just going to have to sort of stand down there. I do want to get Sue up. James, you guys want to all just come up so that we can just chat about all the social media stuff? So the first thing I want to show you guys is that what we did is there's something called tweet stats. And you can, what happens is I should probably do this in real time to show you just how cool it is. But you can see here, that this is the MIP, handle. Just grab a mic. And can you do me a favor? Can you give one of the wireless mics to Simon down there? Yeah. Simon broke his leg, and there's a lot of whining.
Can I give Simon his prize for doing the most MIPCC tweets?
Yeah, okay. Okay, and we also have an award. Let's do the award right now. Why not? Okay, so
is this on?
Yeah, it's on. Yeah, no, it's not. Okay, so what I want to show right now is that where's the? Let me just get this and we can show. Okay, so here is from MIPCC and MipTV. We had some people who were tweeting, and they were using the hashtag MipTV or they were using the hashtag MIPCC. So which was the winning for, James? For MIPCC or for MipTV?
The winner was for MIPCC.
Okay, so for MIPCC. So you can see here that we are the winners. See there? That's the number of tweets. So thank you very much for the prize. But unfortunately,
no, we're the winners.
Oh no, but you can't win, and we can't win. So the next person who was the most tweeted the most for MIPCC, which was the separate part, was Simon. What do you want to say, Sue? No, nothing. You're okay? Okay. So Simon, congratulations, everyone. Give the best.
You don't have to come on stage, Simon.
Don't come on stage. Just stay standing.
I will give you this. It's all 4 seasons of
Wow, all 4 seasons. You could sell that. Don't put it on BitTorrent. Do not put that on BitTorrent. But if you need to, talk to Eric.
Did you just love how that crutch just brings stuff to you? Like things are always just coming to you.
I love it. Actually, there's nothing wrong with my foot. I just like the attention.
So Simon really, at South by Southwest, he hurt his foot and then it got infected. But he is like a huge tweeter at these events, and I follow him religiously. If you're not sure, if you want to follow someone and you're just sort of starting to tweet, this is a guy. So look at, this is really great website called Summarize. And you can see the spelling at the top. It's not really spelled like Summarize. It's spelled in geek speak. So labs.eduserve.org.uk. But basically, you put in your hashtag, and it tells you the total number of tweets, the total Twitterers, so 526, total hashtags tweeted, 83, and then it gives you an idea of a breakdown. So 80% of the tweets on this Twapper Keeper archive are made by 34% of the Twitters, and top 10 Twitters account for 38% of the tweets. So this sort of data, right now I'm geeking out. You're not even here. I'm like, this is awesome. So how many people replied, the @ replied to the mentions? You can see the data there. Look, I'm even on there. Is that person here? This guy?
That's the guy from Forrester.
Oh, he's the guy from Forrester Research. Is Dr. Bullet Point here? No? Okay, cool. Simon is. Angry Austin? No, I know he left. EW4N. Okay, so then you can look at the conversations that were going on, and then the top 10 tweeted hashtags, and then the connected URL, so you can find all the information about this. And then here, you're looking at where all the tweets came from, and more importantly, what words were used. right? So CEO, Nick, video, creativity was a big one, forum, hub, iPad. So we know that something was going on really well there. It was going good. So what I wanted to do is I just wanted to grab Simon, and I want to start with you.
Yep.
Can you just give everyone, you went to a lot of the sessions. Can you just give us an idea of what your overall feeling was with everything? Like, what did you like? What didn't you like?
I'll just say the things I like, okay, if that's not to offend anyone.
You're so
You can ask me afterwards.
Okay, I'll ask you afterwards, then I'll tell everyone?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Okay, go.
No, I think that like one thing that really stood out for me was how it's like we're getting there, but we're not really there yet. But I think that the convergence that everyone's been talking about, everyone is getting that we need to be on all platforms, and we need to develop for all the platforms. But also the second thing, that we have users and viewers are no longer users and viewers. Like someone was saying in a conference that the audience is as much a part of your story now as the story itself. I like that, yeah.
Was there anything new that you saw that really blew you away? Because, I mean, the stuff you're talking about, we sort of all heard before, right?
Yeah, I like the emotive thingy.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting one of those.
Yeah, so this is emotive. I'll just show you the brain-computer interface that was over at the Experience Hub. I think they left this afternoon, but if you get an opportunity, so it looked like this. You put it on, and they calibrated it, and literally in 2 or 3 minutes, I was like moving a box with my mind. Right now, I'm crushing your heads with my mind. I'm that good. What else did you see that you liked? Anything else?
I thought the experience...
What was the best session you went to? What did you got the most value out of?
Tommy Ahonen was great.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Although he said that we should all go. As a format developer, I developed transmedia, cross-media formats by day, tweet by night. No, not really. What he said was that since there are 4.2 billion SMS paying users in the world, we should all go with SMS, which is sort of like a bit of a downturn.
Yeah,
in a sense.
I mean,
on the other hand, it's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
How to integrate SMS in a fun and engaging and new way into formats.
And this is a really good point that we need to bring up. Tommy Ahonen was like, 98% of the people that watch your TV programs have a feature phone and not a smartphone. And this was the key, that if you want to make money in SMS, if you want to make money in TV, it was SMS. So that's the key. There's a guy pointing over there. MMS? No. MMS, yeah. He also talked about MMS is going to be the next thing because you can send videos and all that sort of stuff. But I think what really blew most of us away, because we're all high-tech heads and we're all thinking iPhone, Android, is that he really reset our brains and said, you know, there's like 6 billion texts sent or something. I mean, he used the billion word a lot, and he's like, this is where you're going to make money. This is where you're absolutely going to make a ton of money by using SMS. And the most interesting way that he talked about, I think it was a place from the Philippines, a TV show. They would put a little dot in the TV show, and you would text when that dot came up, and you would win either an iPad or a car or whatever it was, and you had to text like a certain number of times. When the dot came up, the TV company paid for the text, so it was a free text, which is rare, because usually on Idle you have to pay. It was a free text, but they put this bullet point in 3 or 4 times, and through commercials, so you could tell when people were watching, and then they put it in the next show, so they could tell whether people were converting to the next show. And I thought that was absolutely genius. We're definitely going to tell our clients about that. Okay, thanks, Simon.
Welcome.
Great. Good job on the winning. Angela, fantastic pieces. You did so many great blog posts. I was reading through them earlier, and I mean, you know, just such great stuff. When you guys go and you wrap up and your brain is less wired, I mean, just such a great way to do it. Like live blogging, just a great overview with links and quotes. Future of journalism happening right here. It was so good. Was this yours? Did I do yours?
That's Stuart's.
That's
But
Stuart.
Thank you.
Stuart, amazing. Stuart's down there. Okay, so Angela, you went to a lot of these. Can you just give everyone some feedback about what you thought was, you know, the best? What were some of the most intriguing and interesting panels you went to?
Well, a lot of the panels kind of.
A little closer to Mike, please.
Oh, is this better?
Yep. You can take it off the stand if you want.
Oh, do I want to do?
No, you don't have to.
Okay, I'm just gonna. not think about that.
This is what you do when you put writers on the stage, things go crazy.
I know, it's so awful. No, yeah, thank you.
Okay, yep.
Are we finished?
Yeah.
A lot of the panels kind of melted into each other. I know that the ones that I'm thinking about most are the keynote from Tiffany Schlane. That was really interesting because she talked a lot about the brain, which was a theme that came up again today with Baroness Greenfield. And also, the Baroness Greenfield said something really interesting today. She was talking about how the brain is special because ideally it puts you in a place where you cannot be hacked. And it had happened right after the piracy talk. And I thought that was interesting because I don't think that's going to be true for long. I don't think...
You think people are going to be able to hack your brain?
I kind of feel like that's where we're going. Because when you think about it, when you think of the kind of permission culture that we're building around ourselves, I mean, who would have thought, when you talk about the man like 5-6 years ago, who would have thought that the man would basically be us? We would be volunteering our location in real time all the time on Foursquare, on Facebook.
What do you mean by the man?
Like the government. You know, we were always
We're
talking
now
about,
the government?
We're kind of like, well, Christophe Aguiton put it really well, the researcher at Orange last year, when he was saying, we've worried so much about Big Brother that it never occurred to us the real threat would be Little Brother. It would be people that we volunteer our information to all the time. Our families, our lovers, our teachers, our friends, and those would be the people who, in the end, would be policing us. And we gave them that power. We're doing it now. And I honestly think that at some point we're going to give them the reins to our minds as well. I think that's part of what we're doing with Twitter.
How do you mean?
One of the interesting things about Twitter is that the barriers to publishing are so low. You have 140 characters, you publish instantly. That means people kind of forget that they're publishing. They kind of forget that they're talking to the entire world. So they forget themselves. They say anything, which is why Twitter is so powerful. Over time, people using it end up telling the truth. Sorry, my voice is shaking. About themselves, about what they feel, about products, about a bad experience they had, about a really good experience they had. And right now, it's the closest thing we have to actually reading minds.
Nice.
And you know, how much further? We have to go further. It's just, it's kind of the law of technology, so.
And I think Derek Kirchhoff also said that you know, there has to be, he said something about forgetting. I can't remember the quote exactly. Does anyone remember it? He basically said that we have to be allowed to forget, because right now everything that goes up on the web is never forgotten. And this is what Google's spending a lot of time on, is that they're trying to put an act in, I believe in the US as well as the UK, is that after a certain amount of time it has to be deleted. And we've got all these kids. We had a big, you know, at South by Southwest, we had a big argument because everyone was like, well, there's all these young kids that are trying to get jobs now, and you know, they're being searched on Facebook and all their photos are available and they're not getting jobs. And a guy actually stood up and said, listen, there were 2 candidates and my assistant pulled off the Facebook profiles for both of them, and one of them was drinking, like had pictures of her drinking, and the other one was her, you know, she'd obviously touched her Facebook page to make it look like she wanted a job, and it was very professional. Who got the job? The one that was more professional. So I think you're absolutely right. We need to sort of work out what we're putting out there and what we're not. I'm going to move over on to James. James is the editor, oversees all of the blog posts, and we work quite closely with him. And I really wanted to get him up here because he's read all the posts, so he's got a second. He wasn't actually in a lot of the sessions. So he's going to have a different perspective of what's happening. What did you pull from all the posts that you and the tweets you were reading?
I think that firstly, from a content point of view, the session that stood out the most for me was Matt Mason, the thing about what we can learn from piracy, because I just think that whatever the content is, it's all about access. And when you consider how easy it is to access some TV shows, whether it's on Mega Video, or if your friend just gives them to you, it's so easy to pirate TV, and the industry should be using that instead of fearing it like the music industry did. So that's why it's great to have BitTorrent here as well. I just think that we wouldn't have been able to do that here like a year or 2 ago. It would have been yeah. let the monster in. But this time we're sort of really embracing change, which is really exciting, I think. And we're seeing that also in our coverage. Like you were saying, it wasn't we've been doing live coverage of our TV shows for
Take a
about
step forward for me.
Sorry.
You're getting caught by the projector.
2 or 3 years now, and I remember when we first started tweeting from MipTV 2 years ago, there were about 3 people, and I don't think even Simon was tweeting then. I'm not sure, but it was really easy for me to track them all because there was about 4 or 5 people. Now the difference is just incredible. It's roughly, we've got double the number of tweets from compared with MIPCOM in October, so it's just really going up, and it's great to see everyone, a lot of you in the audience engaging, sharing the content and talking, and also to see things like the John Chu, the CC Keynote, who tweeted his 250,000 followers before he went on stage, said we've got a Twitter wall. If you tweet MIPCC, then you'll all come up behind me. So then all his fans.
What day was that on?
That was on the
Tuesday?
5th, yeah, Tuesday. And so all these sort of John Chu and Bieber fans bombarded our Twitter wall, and I think that day we got half of the whole MIPCC tweets. Just from Bieber fans, and okay, it's not particularly irrelevant, but it just shows the power of influence and of social media, really. So it's really exciting times.
Nice. Sue, do you want to give us a little bit of what was your I know it all sort of melded together because you were concentrating on tweeting so much, which is great. But what was your feeling? What was the...
I thought the talks that were more abstract were quite interesting, giving us another perspective, a 30,000 feet perspective on how to view the audience as well as the content itself. So I really liked Kevin Slavin's talk about the para audience, paranormal, no, not paranormal, the parasocial audience, and how over time the audience becomes the character becomes the audience, and he gives the example of Howard, what is the last name of the guy? Howard Stern tweeting during the broadcast of private parts, so that he himself is an audience, but he's also the character in the movie too. And another example of that is Tony Bourdain. And when they do that, there's a spike in interest in people tuning in to watch the shows.
Great, thanks. Thanks all, guys. Guys, I might grab you up in a minute, but I really appreciate the feedback. It's helpful. Okay, so you'll see me using a product that we at Jumpwire, I think Sue or Liz found it, one of our social media people, and it's called Memo Lane. Okay, James has to go, everybody, so give him a round of applause. Angela's still with us, so she can answer some more questions. This is called Memo Lane. Quite frankly, when I saw this, and a lot of things blow my mind, but quite frankly, this is it. Finally, I'm really into this whole idea of organizing information really quickly and easily so that I can get it. So you can see me, I'm scrolling through. These are all my tweets. I've actually put in the MIPCC, the MipTV one as well. But I can scroll in here, so you can see, you can go back through my life. These are all my check-ins. This is what I was doing. This is what, it's got everything in here. But it's organized chronologically by day, so I can say, oh, what's this? Format, Guru, Rick, creator of Deal and Deal, show me the money set for life to keynote MIP formats, right? So that's from the MipTV. It's not from my one, obviously. But so what I'm allowed to do is I go to these settings, and you can see here, I just click, and I can add Facebook, Twitter, Flickr. I can make it private, so only I can see it, so I can organize stuff. Or I can make it public so everyone can see it, or I can make it just for my friends. And I don't know if this thing's blowing up yet, but it is probably the best thing. So I can add a Flickr account. So I had all my pictures in here. You can see I see my Foursquare. I've put MipTV in here. And then the Jumpwire's in there as well, too. They're all private, but we can make them public at some point. But I'm just playing around with this because I want to understand it. But it's more about the organization. And the interesting thing is that, no, I can't get back. The interesting thing is that I think what's is that the way that things are being organized, right? That I can look at things per day, like how I organize them in my brain. Oh, I know it was about this time. Not that I keep scrolling down, but I actually know that, you know, I could probably go to a date. Let's see, you know, March 4th, 2010. So these are all my tweets for that day, I guess. I don't know. I'm just still working with this thing. But you can see the power of it if you've got Twitter. The other one that we saw that was really impressive that we just found today was this summarize. So this is the one for the hashtag MIPCC, and you can see, you know, who's tweeting, what they were doing, what the most important conversations were. And then the other one we look at a lot is something called tweet stats, if you're looking for this sort of data. So you can see here, these are all the tweets that are happening for the MIP handle. And if I click on one, so April 11th, there were 618 tweets, or April 11th, sorry. This is for the whole month of April. And what it does is it builds a map. And the more important thing here is now, this is Eastern time, so it's going to look a little wacky. You've got to move everything forward 6 hours. But you can see here when people, so this would be probably 10 o'clock. This 8 plus 6 is 12, no, 13, 14, 2 o'clock? I don't know. But you sort of get an idea of like what the trend was through the whole of this market, right? Where the tweets were coming, what time were they coming at? Well, they weren't coming at 4 a.m., trust you, but that's 9 o'clock. Most people were checking in. They're like, I am getting so bored, and now I'm going home, right? You can get to start these trends. So obviously, for Read Meetum, we've got, at MIP, we've got to do something in the afternoon to get people up because they're obviously bored and asleep or something because they're like, okay, I'm going to sleep now. The interesting thing here is that look at TweetDeck. So I'm not sure how many of you use How many of you use TweetDeck? Yeah, so not that many. So this is the #1 thing that people are tweeting from. Co-tweet is another one we use, I think that MIP uses. Some people are just tweeting right from the Twitter handle. And then Twitter for iPhone is a very big one. And then I've never heard of this, but it's something called Tweet Button. And then replies to, so, these are the people that are replying to. And then the retweets, so who you retweeted. So at MIPCC, at MipTV, we were retweeting Simon a lot. I guess we thought he had something to say. Winning. He's got tiger blood. Yes, he does. And Anne, which is interesting, she had 7 retweets. She is the director of the entertainment division. So she's actually out there tweeting, and this is like the head of the whole thing. She organized all this sort of stuff. So, Morvan, he ran it, and then JP also works there as well too. And then there's us. I mean, what were we? Sue, what was going on? Why weren't we tweeting? We'll have to talk about this afterwards. Interesting. So this is really good. Tweet stats is really good. The other one we just saw is tweet to web, and we just got told about this. I don't know, is the gentleman here who told us about that? No. He's like a really prolific blogger in France, but I didn't get his name. He's like, because we were running around, he's like, oh, you want stuff? So you find the URLs from tweets. So, 5 hours ago, apparently, I don't really read French, but you can see here that a lot of, great presentation on opportunity challenges with cloud computing for content by Eric Grab, and then I can see it right there. I don't have to click on anything. Challenges ahead will require external, are you guys all having the same experience I'm having? Like an out-of-body experience sort of thing? Like you can sort of see that we all will be floating through beautiful amounts of information and we'll be moving it. And that leads me right into what I wanted to show you next, which was the top 12 best Connect hacks. How many people have a Connect? An Xbox Connect? 1? Oh, you are a gamer. No one else. Okay, so when you leave here, like me, you're going to go and buy one because they are unbelievable. And what I found online is that I love anything to do with hacking and workarounds. So workarounds, I mean that, on your iPhone, sometimes, you want to just, on Android, to turn off your Bluetooth, you just basically swipe, turn off Bluetooth because it's right there. On iPhone, I've got to click, I've got to go to the settings. Once I'm in the settings, I've got to find Bluetooth, I've got to turn it on, and then I've got to turn it off, right? And everybody knows about Bluetooth snarfing, right? So when you have your Bluetooth on, people can hack your phone and get all your contacts. So if you're not using your Bluetooth, probably turn it off. There's a lot of people out there like, what's Bluetooth? That's what I'm doing, leading the way here, leading it. So let's watch this video. It's not really racy, but I saw something that I was a little concerned about. But anyway, I'm just going to play it because I think it's really cool. This is what people are doing with the Kinect. They're hacking it themselves, not what Microsoft intended. Please, Lord, let there be internet. Please, Lord, let there be internet. Let the internet come, oh Lord. Lord, let the internet come and really...
Vsauce, hello, Michael here, and in IMG 12 I showed you some Kinect fails, but today I want to explore my favorite Kinect wins. The Kinect tracks 20 joints on your body 30 times a second, and with simple drivers, people from all over the world are taking it into their own hands. Besides exploiting the fact that it's an actual 3D camera, people are harnessing it to play all sorts of games with their hands in the air like they just don't care. For example, Minecraft, Mario Kart, Super Mario Brothers, or this guy who made a demo of 3D Tetris where your hands manipulate the pieces and you can move your head to change the screen's perspective. A few days ago, Kevin showed you a guy who used the Kinect to motion track his nipples and cover them up. Well, if you're less shy, do what this guy did. Program your Kinect to recognize and reify your air guitar. It's like playing Rock Band, but without all the plastic paraphernalia. This guy let it detect his body, but then replace it with the back wall to make him the invisible man. Creepy, right? Well, not as creepy as this. Here's someone who took the Kinect's recognition of his body and had it transform him in real time to a giant, pillowy blob mutant. In case you're curious, yes, he did make a follow-up video with his cat. But why not mount the Kinect on a robot and use it as the robot's eyes? Well, these people did, and since the Kinect sees in 3D, of course, it's a flying robot. Question: what if the Star Wars kid was not only a dork, but also a geek? Answer: he may have done what this guy did. Use the Kinect to track a wooden stick and give it a lightsaber overlay. Or, if you prefer Christmas lights, check out this girl who can control lights like a conductor by waving her hands. To see more of these and other Kinect hacks, or to get pointers on how to experiment yourself, check out connecthacks.net or follow the links in this video's description where links to everything I covered can be found. And let me know in the comments below what year you think it will be when our brains are completely replaced by computers. 2070? 3015? Or are you one of those crazy people on the street who think it already happened? Well, either way, I want to know. Leave it in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good, no? I thought it was funny. But when I watched it, again, I was having one of those out-of-body experiences, right? It's like, these are people who are sitting at home. And the great thing is when you see each one, there's a few that are in sort of laboratories, you can tell. But for the most part, it's like someone sitting at home, all in dark rooms, bored out of their minds, obviously. The guy's like moving stuff, and then he turns himself into a cat. I was like, but I'm always looking, because I'm a bit of a whack job. I was like, I'm looking around. I'm like, what's that guy sitting in? What's on the back of the wall? Because it is pretty weird, but you can see is that these are the scientists of the future. They're actually doing it now, right? And that's why I want to get a Kinect, because I want to figure out how to hack it. Because they make it look easy, but I'm sure it's not. Okay. We have 8 minutes left, and I do want to get to questions. So, are there any questions? None? Do you want me to do? Yes, Simon?
Just one thing I forgot to mention was that...
Oh, wait a minute. There's someone running with the mic.
Oh, sorry.
You're looking too relaxed.
I could have run after. No, sorry. Yeah, it was one thing I forgot to mention was that it was on Wall Street Journal today that it's not only BitTorrent and Netflix that are moving into original content, but Google is earmarking $100 million for new YouTube channels and content, which is pretty interesting.
Well, let's just see if you're right. Oh, you are right. Darn.
Yeah. Thanks.
Listen, you are making me look really bad. I am supposed to know this stuff.
I know, someone paid me to do
That's
this.
what I'm telling you. Trying to keep me humble. You think I got a bit of an ego? Why don't you come up here and let's talk about it? Come on, let's go. You're going to call me out? Let's go. Oh, you all do. Okay. Okay. I do want to get 2 more people up here again because I have to. Eric Klink is in the audience. Eric, would you mind coming up? We've got like 8 minutes, and I would love to talk more about BitTorrent. Are there tomatoes? There are no tomatoes. Are there any broadcasters in the room? Just one. Where is he? Oh, there's a couple over there. Okay. But you guys are going to be okay. And Tom Dunbar. Where's Tom? Tom coming up. Now, Tom and I sat on the plane together, and I had only met. Did I meet you on Twitter?
That was last
6 months ago here, right? Okay. So now Tom and I had an amazing conversation. So there's two things I want to talk about. First of all, let's just talk a bit more about BitTorrent and how these people out here can make money. Because are there producers how many people are content creators? Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for being here, even though BitTorrent's here. You didn't know that. So can you just talk a little bit about what you guys are doing with your artist stuff and how people can help, how you can help them make money?
Sure. So I think it's a pretty simple formula. BitTorrent has two important things. There's some technology that makes distribution free. That's pretty important. And the second is we've kind of amassed an interesting sized audience. We have about 100 million monthly active users. These guys are not just ordinary users. They are hungry media consumers. And if you're trying to find a way to get your content discovered, I think this could be a pretty interesting channel, or at least that's our premise, and that's what we're trying to do with our Artists Direct program, where people submit content to us and we distribute it and get it discovered.
Awesome. Is there anyone who wants to do something right now? Does anyone want to do a deal with Eric?
There's not much of a deal. It's just you submit the content, and then if you have a business model wrapped around it, we'll help you implement that. But
what would the business model mean?
Well, actually, that's the wonderful thing about the internet. Anything goes. You could have a model where you care about social media following. So the call to action could be just like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. And then that could lead to other opportunities down the road. It could be we're a band, we're playing in your part of town. The app could simply say, I see you're from Omaha. We're going to be playing in Tulsa. I think that's close. Come down and see us. That sort of call to action could be interesting. And of course, concerts and merch, that's a pretty important way to make money. So really, it's not about what are the rules or the limitations. It's anything goes. And if you have something in your imagination that you want to try, we're happy to help you try it.
Do you want to give one quick example other than Pioneer One that you're working on?
Yeah, so a band called Sick of Sarah, their label signed, I think, Adamant Records. They came in through the front door through the Artist Direct link, submitted their content, we liked it, and we distributed it. They've been seen 2 million times, I think, and I guess that's enough to go platinum in the US. They've also, since we took it down after about 3 or 4 days, they're still getting about 10,000 downloads a day. So this has had a residual effect in their following, and we're anxious to see what it does for tours and merch. That was the goal that the band had stated. They weren't trying to make money, they weren't trying to get donations, they weren't trying really anything other than to be discovered and to be seen and heard.
And these are the tour dates, I guess, they put on their Facebook?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Great, thanks very much.
Yeah, sure.
Appreciate it. Tom, on the plane we were talking about 3, and we were talking about a lot of different stuff. But you said that there's a model in the UK where 3 is paying people to take phone calls?
Yeah, I believe so. I didn't do the research, and I haven't come up here very prepared, but I believe that 3 are doing potentially a model where, if you're somebody who's popular, you get paid for receiving some phone calls. I'm not sure.
Okay, that's okay. Let me go to, what are the other stuff we talked about? The other one, do you want to talk quickly about GIF-GAF?
Yeah, love to. So I work at a much like Simon, transmedia formats. I'm starting a company that makes transmedia. And part of what we've discovered is a key thing is to develop your audiences alongside your content. So we were looking at building internal, external communities, how you build communities. GIF-GAF is a virtual mobile network operator. It piggybacks on the O2 network, which is a UK network, quite a big one run by, which is in conjunction with Telefonica. And their model is basically a very small company, and they have no tech support, as it were. They don't answer tech support questions. The community answer those questions. So at GIF-GAF, if you're a new user and you put your SIM in the phone and you want to try and set up your answer phone, you submit a question. The answer doesn't come from some call center somewhere. It comes from somebody who knows exactly the right answer, a super user in the mobile community who will give you exactly the kind of information you need. And that person wins points, and over the year amassing points leads to getting a financial reward, just as a kind of gift back to you.
A free network? Or?
No, it's extremely, what they do is they pass all those savings on, so they don't have a huge infrastructure, so they pass the savings on to the consumer by just having extremely cheap call plans. So I think it's, in the UK it's 4p a minute off-peak, 8-minute peak, which is pretty cheap for UK. And it's just pay as you go. So what they did in the beginning was just approach super users, super geeks who love mobile, and said to them, look guys, we're going to start this new network. Do you want to come and give us a hand? And of course they said, yeah, we'd love to, because they just love giving their opinion. And for me as a content producer, I suddenly realized that's a great model. If you're trying to make content, you could do the same thing. Approach people who are creative, talk to them, get them involved in advising you about your market testing, your ideas, and sort of develop your ideas as you go along and get feedback from them. Because that way you're starting right from the ground up, getting launching, iterating, much more like a software model of developing your content rather than the old system of like doing it all in secret, launching and hoping, praying that it'll be the big thing that you need it to be. So obviously, yeah, BitTorrent's another great example of how to market test your product.
It's fantastic. Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate
Thank you.
Great. Okay, we have a few minutes left. Are there any other questions? Are there any concerns? I'm out there. Yes, sir. Can I get you a mic? Where's the mic runner person? There she is. Go, go. What's your name? Selena. Go, go, Selena. Go, go. Faster.
Hi. One of the things I spotted at the hub, I think the presentation was on Monday very quickly, was Orasma by autonomy. Did you know anything about that?
Orasma?
Yeah, by autonomy.
I didn't see. Did anyone else see Erasma? Yeah, was it? Do you want to? Here, I'll give you a mic, Tom. Do you want to just tell us about it? There you go. Nice catch.
Right. Yeah, Erasma I also saw, and I thought that was absolutely amazing.
How do you spell it?
Aurasama. It's I think it's so it's from a company called Autonomy. Autonomy are a Cambridge. No, or like. Excuse me, it sounds a bit like orgasm.
I'm sorry,
it's Orasma.
Oh, you said A.
No, it's A-U-R-A, Oras, S.
A-U-R-A-S-M-A.
What? What are you saying? One more time. I can't quite hear you. Your accent is very thick, sir. A-U-R.
That's an O.
You said A.
A-U-R.
I typed A first.
No, you didn't.
This is not a comedy show, okay, Tom?
Okay.
A-U.
R-A.
Yeah.
S-A.
S-A.
M-A.
M-A.
I think that's it.
No, the joke's over. Okay, here we go.
Tom, I think it's A-U-R-A-S-M-A.
There you go.
A-U-R.
No one can find it on Google anyway.
A-U-R-A-S-M-A.
Is that it? Are you sure?
The other thing is, I don't think you'll find that much up there because I think it's only just very, very recently been released. But the company behind it is called Autonomy, and Autonomy is a company based in Cambridge, and it's quite mind-blowing augmented reality software which uses fuzzy logic to work out images very, very quickly. So the demonstration, which was at the Experience Hub, I think on Monday or Tuesday. The guy who was demonstrating it had a Harry Potter poster, like a card that he held up, and within a second this system recognized the image and started playing a video overlaid over the card, and he moved it around in real time and it tracked it in real time. Very, very impressive piece of software.
You got a YouTube one? Can you tweet it? Now the other thing, thanks Tom, I appreciate it. The other one that I saw was, I don't know if you guys saw this, it was absolutely insane. They built this table.
The Reactable is a tangible computer music instrument based on a table. The Reactable started as a project 2 years ago, and unlike many projects which involve a lot of technology, it started from a concept and not from a technology. So first, we knew what we wanted to build, and then we discovered how to build it.
So every time they put down a block, it adds another sound, and they can use that sound. These guys were rocking the Experience Hub for like a half an hour. It was incredible. And they just kept putting down blocks, and they would change it. And then two of the girls from one of the other, two of the models, all dressed in black, wandered over, and they were sort of standing there, started dancing, and then the guy who hired them pushed them on stage. So you had like these two models dancing. This guy was insane. very cool. I really wanted to use it. Like I just want one from home. So apparently I have an iPad app that is doing really, really well. It's called Retract Table, essentially, so retractable. But this one really impressed me too. Anything to do with this sort of music stuff is fantastic. We are sort of out of time, so I do want to thank everyone for coming today. And I don't know what the last. You know what? Who's got the coolest site? Give me a site that I can put up to that we can look at while I wrap up. Give me a really cool site. It's got to be really cool. Yes, ma'am. MusicOlympia.com. Is that your business?
Yes.
I knew it. Yeah. Are you sending via tweet? No, go for it. Let me just find my Twitter. Everyone can watch me do stuff in real time, which is really slow. What are you sending me? It's not porn, is it? Okay. That's okay. This it?
I have no idea what this is, but it's awesome. So I'm going to take this time, and this is going to play out. Thanks very much for coming. I hope you had a great MIP. See you at MIPCOM.